Hey there, everybody. This is Dr. Dennis Buckley for the Doctor Driven Referral System. This is module number 3. Module number 3 is going to be about the reports or the letters that you will be sharing with other healthcare providers that will enhance your reputation, also control and coordinate care of your patients, which will also really establish a strong bond between you and your patients, your clients, that you are working together with their healthcare practitioners to create the best possible coordination of care for you. So, we're going to be talking about the reports today, and basically there are four types of reports that we want to talk about today. The first report would be one that's new to your practice, or new to your first time you've ever had an interaction with them. Number 2 is new to your practice, but they were referred by a doctor. These reports are similar, but there is a little difference that needs to be identified. And then there's progress reports and release letter or transition letters. These are the 4 main reports that you're going to be providing, and we need to go over each of those about what is in those letters. And like I said, timing is everything. You must get these reports out on time, quickly, as soon as possible, to really create a reputation that you are totally in control and that you can be trusted and that you will do things in a timely manner. So, let's talk about the first report. This would be a report. So you've identified a new client to your practice, and you've asked them, would it be okay for me to send a report to your primary care provider or one of your health care providers, letting them know that I'm providing massage services to you? Well, the nature of the report, it should, first of all, it needs to be brief. It has to fit on one page. This is very important. Most doctors, if they get a report and it's one page, will read it. If it's more than one page, they'll read it later. Means probably never. So if you can be brief, and brevity is brilliance, there'll be a better chance that 1, it's read, and 2, it will be identified as from you. On the report will be the name and address of the recipient. This will be to the doctor, and this will hopefully be out of your database that you're building up. At first, the first time you use it, of course, you're going to be putting in their name and address, but also creating the database. So the name and address, the name of the client or patient, and an introduction saying why you're writing this letter. Notify them also in the letter that you're providing massage services for the following conditions, and that you will update them as to progress. And the close is something along the lines of, if you have any questions regarding the care I'm providing, please contact me personally, professionally yours, in your name. So this is a really brief report. It's just hitting the highlights. You're providing the services, what for, you'll keep them updated if you got any questions. That is the outline of the first report. The next one is a follow-up report. A follow-up report is very, very similar. It's got to be brief, same thing, name, address of the recipient or the doctor you're sending it to, the name of your client. I'm providing you a follow-up report, an update on their progress, future treatment and frequency. You'll keep them updated, and thank you, professionally yours. So all you're doing is saying that we're treating them, and also if you could put some type of summary of they're doing better, they're doing worse, they've improved, whatever, that will suffice in the follow-up report. If anything should come up in any of these reports and the other doctor or whoever you're sending the report wants to know more, they'll probably contact you. That's why it's important on the report that your name and address will be on your letterhead or on some aspect that they can get a hold of you. If there's something they want to know, they will get a hold of you. It doesn't happen that often, but when it does, be ready and provide the information. It could be very, very beneficial. So that's the follow-up report. The transition letter. or the release letter. This is brief also. All these things have to be one page. If there is a reason for the report to be longer than that, make that the exception rather than the rule, especially if you have some question about some aspect of the patient's care and would it be safe. I think if that is the case, I think you should actually call up the provider yourself personally and ask them that question, like, would massage be contraindicated while they're getting blank or for whatever treatment they're doing if you don't know the answer. Many times the answer will be no, but then it gives you a great chance to be able to communicate one-on-one with the provider and then follow up with a written report per our conversation, so and so. The transition letter is a letter that basically lets them know that you are transitioning them from active care. So let's say someone comes into you and they say, I've got really, really bad neck pain. And you're providing massage services for them. And you've been doing it at a frequency of twice a week for 4 weeks. And at the end of 30 days, you sent a progress report, and you notify the doctor that Mrs. Jones, who you're providing this service for, is about 50%, 60% better, less pain and better motion. You will continue to treat her at once per week for the next 4 weeks. And let's say at the end of those 4 weeks, Mrs. Jones says, you know, my neck feels as good as it's ever been. It's wonderful. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Then basically at that point, you can make a decision A, to keep them under active care, but maybe reduce the frequency to twice a month or once a month. But when they get to the point where you feel like they're at maximum medical improvement or maximum improvement, and now they just need to just maintain their goals, this is where you can provide a release letter. And the release letter basically says that the same information, we treated them for this, they are at this maximal improvement, this is a key word, maximal medical improvement, and you're releasing them from active care. So you're transitioning them into what's called lifestyle care. This means that you're still seeing them. The care that you're providing now is on a supportive means along with their good lifestyle that they're doing. I don't like the word maintenance. Maintenance to me implies that someone else is going to be responsible for my health. Meaning I go to the acupuncturist, I go to the chiropractor, I go to the massage therapist for maintenance. That means they're doing stuff to me to keep me going, which is true, but the real key word is what is the individual doing for themselves to keep themselves healthy. So you are part of the support team that is helping to keep this person healthy, but you are not the one responsible. The individual you're treating is responsible. So when you transition them from active care, meaning that we're getting rid of the problem, you put them into supportive care and lifestyle care, and we may talk about the future recommendations. Mrs. Jones will be consulting with me for massages on a frequency of once a month, twice a month, once a week, whatever that supportive reason is, and you close. The important part about this letter is that doctors understand this type of process. One of the biggest complaints that MDs talk about holistic healthcare providers, meaning chiropractors, acupuncturists, such, is that they always keep treating the client patient forever. Doctors release them, okay? Now, this is not a discussion about what's right or wrong, it's just about a reality. And what the matter of the fact is that you're still treating them and still providing services. You're just not treating them for an active. The patient has decided on their own that they would love to come in and they would love to get services that would help to support their gains of treatment and keep them healthy. So the transition letter will set you apart from other providers, and the doctor will understand that you have enacted a course of care that has got them back to some level, and now the patient has decided they want to continue with the care supported. You're not telling them you need to come back, you need to come back, you need to come back. Now, I understand that, and I understand that we told them they need to come back because they need to do it as part of a health maintenance system. However, in the reality of healthcare, by having a transition letter, it will really elevate your status in those that we're going to be sending you clients, letting them know that you will not be treating this person forever for a condition, but you will help them get to a level of function, and then you will, the patient or the client will like to actually maintain it. So that's why the transition. It's a little thing, but guess what? In the mindset of the people who are referring to you, it will go a long way. So how often do you send these letters? Well, the first letter has to go within 24, 48 hours. You got to get that out. Now, especially if a doctor has referred you a client, you need to get the new letter within 24 hours. And I like to do it this way. If I see a new client, new patient in my office, I like to write this up using the template that evening and fax it over to them. So if they referred to them, they referred them over to me, and their first visit's on a Monday, I'm sending it over Monday evening, or at the latest Tuesday morning, within 24 hours to let them get over there. So first letter has to go within 48 hours, 24, or as soon as possible. Progress letters every 30 days. Release letters at the end of active care. A follow-up letter if a flare-up and returns to active care. So let's say someone's come in for a couple months on active care, you release them. They've been coming in once a month for the next 4 months, but they went on vacation and they fell and they hurt their back or hurt their neck. They have a flare-up. You start the process all over again. New condition, new flare-up. You treat them like they're a new client, and you do the progress reports until you get them back to supportive care. If someone's on supportive or lifestyle care, you don't need to do it every 30 days. I would probably do it once every 6 months, and there's a way that will show you how to do this so you'll remember to do it. It will be your decision about how the frequency for lifestyle or supportive care, but there's a reason to do it. It's to keep your name in front of the doctor, but also keep your name in front of your clients. And there's also special letters as necessary, and we'll talk about those later. So what about this tickler file? Well, tickler file is been used throughout the history of mankind, I think, as a reminder of things to do. You can use a tickler file for any type of regular reminders that you need to have. In this case, we're going to be using it in a way that's going to remind us about when to send reports and also how to keep in contact with our clients. So create a tickler file. You're going to need 42 hanging files as needed, 12 titled January through December for the 12 months of the year, and 31 numbered 1 through 31 for the days of the week. It has to be readily available. The purpose of it is to hold the copies of the reports. And it can be used as hold for alerts for other notices of things you may need to do. This is going to be your new piggy bank. In that file is the ability for you to keep in contact with your client base, reports to doctors that may refer to you, the income it will generate over the next however many years you use it will be astronomical. Now, I'm sure there are other ways to do this electronically, and that's fine if it's there. I'm just saying that this way is very, very mechanical, but it actually has something magical about the power it has. When you're looking at a report, you're looking at a name, you're thinking about somebody, you're sending out the reports. Those reports are building up every month. You're sending more and more and more. That means your client base is building and that your name is out there, and it creates a snowball effect by having more seeds being planted that you can reap a bountiful harvest. So create the tickler file, and here's how you use it. After a letter is sent out, you put a copy in the folder for the next month. So let's say you send out a report on August 15th. You would put a copy of that report in September's file. Okay? At the end of the month, at the end of August, you would pull out all the letters out of the next month folder, which is September, and you would file them into the number files based upon the date you sent the report. So that August 15th report that you sent out, you put a copy of it in September. On August 31st, you reach into September, and you still start filing all those reports into numbers, and that August 15th one would go under the 15th. Basically what it's doing is it's 30 days from when you sent the report out. Okay? So every day, you need to pull out letters from that day and create updated letters and send it out. This will give you a chance to actually basically understand whether or not a client is still under care or they've been making their appointments. If they are, you do a little progress report and send it out and put the copy of that report in the next month's file. So if on September 15th, it's time to do a 30-day report, you do that and you put it in October. Now, if somebody is being transitioned into a supportive care or transition out, you may take that letter and put it ahead 3 months. So you might put it in January's, wherever you want to put it where you need to remember. So if you're going to be sending out a report somewhere in January, you put the copy of the report in the January, and then on December 31st, you pull out all the January reports and you can file them when you need to send them out. You may even write a little note on that report about something you need to do it. These are just copies that will trigger an action for you to send out regular reports. Okay? Most of the letters will be in the 30-day variety, although when you get in transition, there'll be people that'll be more on the 3 months, 6 months, whatever time frame you decide works out the best. But that's how they use the tickler file. So you need to look at it every single day. Or if, for example, if the weekend's coming up, Saturday, Sunday, you may need to look at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday letters and get out reports to be on time, or at least by Monday. Try to be as accurate as possible to the time and keep it within that so it's consistent. Two things will happen. One, you'll get a progress report out to the providers that are referring to you or hope they will refer to you. And number two, you will also be sending out a copy of that report to the provider to your patient, which will put your name in front of them and remind them that you're taking care of them. So it's always putting your name in front of the people that you want to see it. If that person's having a problem, meaning your client, you want them to think of you first to come in. If that doctor has been asked by another patient, one of their patients, who's a good massage therapist, you want them to think of you. So, other special reports that you can include in this system, and you could send this to other massage therapists. Yes, other massage therapists. If you have a specialty, if you have a specialty that is utilized where other massage therapists refer to you, you may send these reports out to them. You can also work this process up, and this is where it gets really exciting when you get this down. You can really expand your network. Remember we talked about that, to personal trainers. You can send it out to nutritionists, acupuncturists, health coaches, psychologists, shamans, chiropractors, orthopedists. Anybody who's on your client's healthcare team, you kind of want to know who they are and start sending out reports, because all those people could be potential referral sources. This has a potential to snowball where you'll be getting so many referrals that you'll be doing a lot of reports, and this might require that you have to actually hire somebody to actually help you do these reports and get them out. All you do is look them over and sign them. But the thing is that this is cheap, inexpensive way to market when you're getting new clients being sent from healthcare providers that know and trust you. But always ask permission to send reports to any of the people that you'll be dealing with. Like I said, in 22 years, I've had no one ever tell me, no, please do not do that. I don't want them to know that. If they do, sometimes you may ask why, and they may have a good reason, but it rarely happens. But if they say no, respect their wishes and do not do that. Anyway, that is really the crux of the system, the doctor direct referral system. It's getting these reports out, and later on we'll tell you about the templates and how you may get them that will make it really easy for you. So what we did in this module is we talked about all the different types of reports. We talked about the timing. We talked about the first reports and how they different if one's from a referral or one's just a new client. We talked about the follow-up reports and the frequency, how to transition people into supportive care in the transition letter, also the frequency, how to use a tickler file, how to create it and use it, and also the special reports about how you can expand this. Once you get this down and get used to using it, it'll become very, very simple. Say once again, you have to get used to using it, and then you'll be able to send them out. On the next module, we're going to talk about the entrepreneurial progression that is possible with these types of reports. So stay tuned for Module 4.